So, Asante, we're interested in hearing a little bit about, for prospective students coming into Garibaldi, why they might choose to go into the IB track and what that offers them from your perspective as a teacher.
I think one of the key points that IB offers is that you're covering grade 11 biology, grade 12 biology, and first year university biology in a 2-year period of time in high school with a support network that you wouldn't have in terms of a university first year student. I think also it creates organizational skills, just in terms of being organized, getting into habits that you need to have, realizing that there's not always going to be someone pushing you and asking you to study or to prepare for tests or to meet deadlines, and just being more independent in terms of developing those skills.
And have you heard from previous students that have come back from their university experiences and told you what it's been like for them once they have got to the university based on their experience?
I think a lot of students have come back and have said that their first year biology courses are the courses that they find the easiest, just because they were so well prepared, and the material that they covered in high school was overlapped so well with their first year university material. Some of them chose, even though they would have been able to enter second year biology courses, they chose to enter first year biology courses just to get used to university life, to make sure that they were successful and maintained high grades. So a lot of them on scholarships would have maintained those scholarships as well.
Great. And for students who are prospective students and in their grade 8 through 9 through 10 years, what types of things from your perspective would help them get prepared and be ready for entry into the IB program?
Well, at Garibaldi, we do a lot of lab work with our students, and in the honors program, we do start to develop those skills that they need to complete labs in an IB type of format. So we start working on that right in grade 8, and then continuing on in our honors program in grade 9 and 10. So students will design their own labs, collect data for their own labs, analyze that data, and then report on the data that they've collected in the same type of format that they would in the IB program. So it really gives them a heads up in terms of starting the IB program in grade 11 and 12.
And for you as a teacher, is there any enrichment that you find being a part of that?
I think that the students that are in the IB program bring their level up, and so the types of questions that they ask and the detail that they discuss just among themselves in their peer group allows them to delve into subjects on a much more critical thinking type. I guess they're critically thinking, and just the way that they approach their subjects is quite different from regular class.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Well, thank you for joining us, Mrs. Carlson. We just have some questions about your experience as an IB teacher. Can you just tell us a little bit about what IB for our students looking at coming into Garibaldi looks like, and what it's all about here?
Well, I teach the biology portion of IB, and it's an elective course that you can take to fulfill your science requirement. And it's a 2-year program, grade 11 and 12, and it really prepares you well for a science course at university level. So part of their mark is on a large investigation that they come up with on their own, so they get a lot of experience doing research and carrying out a lab. There's a strong lab component where they have to have 60 hours of actual practical experience, so it's not just book learning, which really sets them up well for university lab course.
And in your experience, have you noticed any community that's formed over the years as the groups travel together?
Yeah, well, because they actually begin in Science 9 or 8 honors, and then they travel through in grade 10, they become a cohort, and then in grade 11 and 12, so it's a very close-knit community. There's a lot of support with each other. We spend time after school together as well, doing extra study sessions, and so yeah, we become a fairly close-knit group. They have little chat rooms and Facebook pages where they post and help each other.
Very good. And have you heard from previous or past students who've come back after being in university and told you about their feedback for the years during IB?
Yeah, several students come back and they find that I think the transition to go to university they feel better prepared for. Some of them go straight into second year because with the biology course, if you take higher level, they can go straight to second year. And so they get to skip a whole year and they get free tuition, so they like that. Or the tuition for first year they don't have to pay. The kids find that even if they do the standard level course and do take first year, they end up finding the material relatively easy. And so the kids come back and say, oh, I like that because I've done a lot of the material, I've seen it before, and they come back and they visit the web page, they say shared it with their friends, and they're actually able to be leaders in their class. And so one of the girls actually said to me, I'm actually one of the smart kids in class.
Cool. So when you think about over the past few years that you've taught in the IB program, what are some of the qualities and characteristics of the successful students in that program that you've picked out and noticed?
I think the kids that come in are kids that are motivated to learn. They have usually a pretty clear goal of where they want to go after university, and they're with a group of like-minded students. And what happens is they actually bring each other's level up. So they end up encouraging each other, and you see excellence in other students, and it encourages you to push yourself and do your best. And I think as they go through the program, it's a fairly intense program, and there's a lot of maturing and self-discipline that comes in. By the end of grade 12, they have those skills that are going to help them be successful.
What type of advice would you give to prospective students coming into Garibaldi who are thinking about doing IB? What should they be doing in their grade 8, 9, and 10 years?
Definitely participate in our honors program, and so you get a taste of IB, what it would be like. We do some of the material that wouldn't be covered in a regular class, and we also do a little bit more lab work to prepare you for that component when they get to grade 11 and 12. But just come, try it out, see if you like it, and you don't have to make a decision until you're in the end of grade 10.
Great. And one more question. Just from your teaching experience, how has working in the IB program enriched your experience as a teacher?
It's great to work with such a motivated group of kids. We've become very close because we've seen them in grade 9, and I see them in grade 12, so I've seen them over a series of years, and we get quite close because we spend a lot of time together. And it's really neat because the kinds of questions that IB students ask me by the end of grade 12, they ask really in-depth and interesting questions that I didn't have before I taught IB, because their knowledge is so much deeper, and we have some really great discussions.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.